Daddy gave us his word. He said, this is our year of joyful harvest. And this word that he gave us of joyful harvest is according to Isaiah 9, verse 3. And I'm reading from the NLT. It said, you have multiplied the nation and increased the joy. They rejoice before you according to the joy of harvest, as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. Family, I'm pretty sure most of you remember this scripture because we studied it during the fast. Second Chronicles is from Second Chronicles 20, verse 25 to 27. And it's when King Jehoshaphat and his men they went out to gather vast amount of harvest. It was harvest more than they could even carry. It took them like 3 days to carry them all. 3 days. They all
Amen.
returned to Jerusalem overjoyed. This is the kind
Amen.
of harvest that he's talking about
Amen.
for us, family. This is the kind of harvest. This is the kind of harvest. I want you all to open your mind. Just open your mind, open your thinking, open up your spirit to see yourself experiencing this joy. This is what Daddy said. We didn't make it up. Mama didn't make it up. It came directly from Daddy. This is His will for us in 2021. So I'm going to look at what is joyful harvest. But first, let's break it down. Joyful is an adjective. It is a feeling, expressing or causing great pleasure and happiness. Now
Amen.
let's look at harvest. Harvest is a time when you reap what you sow. And this is according to Galatians 6, verse 7. Harvest is the gathering of things planted. It is a time of reaping in joy what has been produced from your seed. So if you look at this, we can see that for us to have a joyful harvest, we must have seed in the ground. We must have seed in the ground to have a joyful harvest.
That's right.
Now, what is joyful harvest? Joyful harvest is a time of reaping. It is a time that you're reaping. It's so abundant. You're reaping in abundance. It's overwhelming in very great amount. It is stress-free. It is an harvest that will give you great pleasure and happiness. And like I said, we see this in Second Chronicles 20, verse 25 to 27. Okay. So now, family, that we have established that this is our year of joyful harvest. We also have to remember that there is an enemy. The enemy is not dead. Even though Daddy declared this is our year of joyful harvest, the enemy is not dead. He's not gonna sit down and play dead and say, okay, yes, they got their word. This is their year of joyful harvest. Okay, they're gonna get it. No, the enemy is still going around like a roaring lion. He's trying to seek whom he may devour. He's trying to seek. He cannot devour everyone, but he's trying to seek. He's trying to seek whose harvest he may try to invade. He's trying to seek whose harvest he may try to invade. But in First Timothy 1, verse 18, it tells us, he said to war, to wage a good warfare according to the prophecies which went out before us. This is our year of joyful harvest, and we need to speak it. We need to speak it. We need to speak it with our word. We need to speak it with our word. This is a prophecy. This is a prophecy come from God concerning our future. Our prophecy is also a weapon we use to wage war against the enemy. It is, family, it is not enough just to leave this word hanging dormant. We must speak it. We must believe it. We must say, this is my year of joyful harvest because Daddy said it. Like I said, we didn't make up this word by ourselves. Mama didn't just come up with something nice and say, this is our year of joyful harvest. No, Daddy said it. And once he say it, we must believe it. We must choose to believe it, not try to think in my head, where this joyful harvest gonna come from? No, he said it, and we believe it, and we must speak it. He tells us in Mark 11:23, he said, whatsoever we shall say, we will have it. He said it. Whatsoever we say, we shall have it. So if we say this is our year of joyful harvest, it means that we're going to have it. It means we're going to have this year of joyful harvest. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So as we make progress, family, in our year of joyful harvest, let us give intentionally. Let us sow seeds of sow seeds that will make that harvester be joyful. Think about that seed before you sow it. If I sow this seed, would it make this person, would it make this harvester be joyful? Or would it just be like, oh, yeah, thank you for this seed? So intentionally. If we're expecting to reap a joyful harvest, we must sow joyful harvest. So joyful harvest, family. So joyful harvest. Your giving is a weapon. Your giving is a weapon of warfare against the enemy. Your giving is a weapon of warfare against the enemy. Family, our weapon of warfare are not carnal, but our weapon of warfare are mighty for the preservation of our harvest. Our weapon, I'm going to say it again, our weapon of warfare are mighty through the preservation of our harvest. As we in our year of joyful harvest, family, let us give daddy thanks every day for our joyful harvest. That's another weapon, giving him thanks for our joyful harvest. Let us dance for daddy for our joyful harvest. Let us talk about our joyful harvest every day. We have to speak it, give life to it. In John 6 verse 63b, it tells us that God's word, our spirit, and its life. This is Daddy's direct word through his prophet. This is Daddy direct word through Mama. There is life in this word. We have to speak it. He said in his word is spirit, and his word is life. So we have to speak this. Speak it, speak it, speak it every day. This is my year of joyful harvest. It doesn't matter the situation. This is my year of joyful harvest. It doesn't matter what I see in my bank account. It doesn't matter what I'm getting. This is my year of joyful harvest because it has to come to pass. It's not gonna come to pass just like that. You just sit down with the word as a poster looking at it. You have to speak it. The word is spirit. The word is life. Speak the word. Speak the word. This is my year of joyful harvest. He said it and he believed it, family. Let's be consistent. Let's determine. Let's be aggressive about this joyful harvest. This joyful harvest. This is big. This is going against the kingdom of darkness. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to be aggressive. I said we have to be aggressive with this word, not like any other word. Harvest. Remember when we're as kingdom citizens, when we're harvesting in the kingdom, we're gonna fund kingdom projects. We're gonna advance the kingdom. So you don't think the enemy is gonna come after us? That's why we have to be consistent. We have to be determined, and we have to be aggressive about our joyful harvest. We have
Amen.
to be aggressive. We have to be aggressive about our joyful harvest. We have to
Amen.
be aggressive.
Amen.
Okay. So now, now my next, we have to be aggressive about our joyful harvest. Now we're going to look at how to identify our joyful harvest. When that joyful harvest come, you don't have to ask, is this a joyful harvest? It will be evident. It will be evident for you to see. It will be evident for everyone around you to see. This is my joyful harvest. It can't hide. It cannot hide. It will be so visible. You can identify your joyful harvest by a dramatic change in your supplies. This dramatic change can be in your finances. Money that you never have, you will see it. So you will, and this money that you're getting it's gonna make you so joyful because daddy already established it. This is how you know, okay, I'm experiencing joyful harvest in my finance. It can be in your business. Like for me, I can harvest more customers. It will be evident. I say, this is that is word coming to pass. I'm harvesting more customers. I'm harvesting more supplies. I'm harvesting more machine. In your marriage, it can be your spouse showing you more attention. It can be your spouse showing you more love. You're harvesting it. It brings you joy. It will be evident when you experience your joyful harvest. This can also be a change in your household family. You can harvest obedience from your kids. It will be evident. Say, this is daddy. This is this word in my life. This is not normal. This is a joyful harvest. We can also harvest it. No, let me, before I go there, I can give a test. I am harvesting a major improvement in Serana's educational level. It is evident. I don't have to ask. It's not natural. It is supernatural. So this is the way that I can say this is a joyful harvest. I can see it because it's not from this realm. It's not from the natural realm. It's from the supernatural realm. You can identify your joyful harvest when you know, no, this is not natural. You know this is not natural. When you can see that the supernatural invades the natural, when you see that the supernatural invades the natural, you know this is a joyful harvest. It will be evident. You don't have to ask. You don't need a magnifying glass to look and say, is this my joyful harvest? You don't need to call your friend. You don't need to call mama. You don't need to call your husband or your wife. Is this a joyful harvest? It will be evident. It will be evident. Anything that he is doing is something that eyes have not seen, that ears have not heard. Eyes have not seen, ears of what daddy is doing. So it will be evident that this is your joyful harvest. It will be evident. You don't need an eyeglass. You don't need to question it. You don't need to question it. So to conclude, family, remember, remember that joyful harvest is not automatic. It's not automatic. You have to play your part. It's not automatic. Daddy give his word, but you still have to do your part. Remember, joyful harvest will be for those who know the principle and they are applying the principle to produce the joyful harvest. Know the principle, apply the principle to produce it. Expect an harvest from from every seed that you sow. Expect an harvest. That he is faithful to his word. Whatever you sow, you shall reap it. He's not a man that he should lie. Whatever you sow, family, there is a reward for your seed. The next word I'm leaving with us, make a decision. Make a decision to act on the word. Believe it, family. Believe the word. Believe it. Run with it. Run
Amen.
with it. This is our year of joyful
Amen.
harvest. That is saying,
Amen.
keep saying it and keep saying it and keep saying it till you wash out that doubt of that spirit of unbelief. Because we truly know that Daddy is serious with this word, but this word has to become a rhema to us. We have to get it on the inside and wash out all those unbelief and all of those nonsense. Daddy is serious. He said this is our year of joyful harvest, and this is our year of joyful harvest.